Guys, what's going on and welcome to a brand new video. This is going to be a preview here, Everton versus Leeds United game, of course, under the lights on Monday. It's going to be a very tough game going into it. Now, we have to go into what Daniel Farke had to say in his press comments about the injury issues. Now, Daniel Farke had to say about the injuries is group from the last game is more or less available. Gudmundsson is struggling with some abductor issues, so Gudmundsson is struggling a little bit. Left him out of training today. Hope he's ready for Monday. Anton Stack is also part integrated into team training. Good news for Dan James as well, who's first time in part of team training. So a lot of good news. The Gudmundsson news, not so great. You look at that and you start going, yeah, we probably do need some left back cover. You know, before the end of the window, before the end of January, we do need that cover at left back because Gudmundsson has an abductor issue now. I mean, James Justin can probably play in that position. Like, I would trust him in that position. I trust him left back or right back, to be honest. But it is one of those things that I'm looking at is, do you get someone who is a left back who can cover for him in that position? I'm not quite sure. I think we should really, just to make sure we are safe. And if it is a long injury at some point that Gudmundsson gets, you know, we're fine with a backup left back. But yeah, so the only bad news going into this, or news that you're a bit worried about, is that Gudmundsson might be out. But the rest of the team look good. Anton stuck back in training. Hopefully he's available for the game. I think he'll be on the bench only. I don't think he'll start at all. Dan James first time back in training as well for a little bit. So he'll be back hopefully soon to be available on the bench for the Premier League games, which is something that, you know, you would like to see him back on the bench and available, because he's an impact off the bench, you know, because of his pace trying to get him behind, and I think that's what he's going to be used as in the Premier League. Now, let's get into the Everton versus Leeds United preview and go through, as we always do, our last 6 meetings. So the last 6 meetings we've had against Everton have been a 1-0 Leeds United win, of course, on the opening day this season. Before then was a 1-0 Everton win, a 1-1 draw, a 3-0 Everton win, a 2-2 draw, and a 2-1 Everton win. So in the last 6 games, Everton have won 3 games. There's been 2 draws, and Leeds United have only won 1 out of the last 6. You look at Everton, and we go through their form, and their form's a bit up and down at the moment in the Premier League this season. In their last 6 games, with 2 draws, 2 wins, and 2 losses, so even on the board of all of them. They drew against Burnley 0-0. They beat Forest 2-0. They then lost to Brentford 4-2. They drew to Wolves while having 2 red cards. That was like towards the end of the game, though, in a 1-1 draw. They also lost, they drew 1-1 in the Cup and lost on penalties to Sunderland. And then in their most recent game, they had a very good performance in beating Aston Villa 1-0. So they're an up and down team of games. You're like, oh, Burnley, they haven't beaten. You know, you look at the games and you go, oh, Burnley, they couldn't beat Burnley. They couldn't beat Wolves. Maybe we'll win this game. And then they pull up a result against Aston Villa and beat them 1-0. So it is one of those things about their form is kind of up and down. Going into this game, I am a bit worried about, how are we going to line up in this game? Because you look at it, Gudmundsson might not be available. I think Gudmundsson will be fine, though. I do think Gudmundsson will be fine. I think I have a feeling that he will be fine. But let's go into it and go through my predicted 11. I think that's what we should go through next. In goal, I think we're going to stick with Darlow. I don't think Darlow did anything wrong. The only scary moment he had was when he came flying out and headed it, and he almost gave Smith Rowe a goal. But besides that, I think he was fine for the rest of the game. Had not much to do, but I think Daniel Farke's going to keep him in. Now, going in at left wing back, actually, no, we do the 3 centre backs first, don't we? Yeah. Well, the 3 centre backs, I think, are going to be Struijk, Rodon, James Justin. I think those 3 will be the centre backs, of course. And then you're going to have your 4 wing backs. I do think it's going to be Gudmundsson. I think Gudmundsson will be available for this game, and there's kind of like a little scare of maybe he's not. But I do think he'll be available, and it'll be Gudmundsson and I think Bogle at the 2 centre-back positions. And then you go into the midfield. Now, the midfield is something that you're not quite sure what we're going to do. Like, it is one of the things about what are we going to do in the midfield, who's going to start. I do think Ampadu, of course, will start. That's like a guarantee. And the 2 8s in front of him, I think he's going to stick with Gruev. I think he's going to stick with Gruev, and I think he's going to play Aronson in the other 8 role. I do think he's going to play Aronson in the other 8 role. Because I just think in this game, I think that will fit Aronson more in this game than playing in a front 3, front 2, whatever you want to say, because we're going to go to the striker options. And then we're going to go to the striker options, and then this is why. Because in the front 2, I think we're going to stick with DCL, of course. I think he has to start, and I think that we're also going to go with our other striker, Lucas Mecha. Mecha, of course, scored the winner in the last game off the bench, and I do think Daniel Farke is going to start him in this game. We're going to have front 2 of Lucas Mecha and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think DCL and Mecha will start in the front 2. Let's go through that lineup again. Darlow in goal. Struijk, Rodon, James Justin, Gudmundsson, Bogle. Midfield three of Ampadu, Gruev, and Aronson. And then your front two of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Lucas Metzger. Let me know in the comments down below what you would actually go with selection-wise. Of course, we also know that Everton, Jack Grealish is going to be out. So Jack Grealish being out is a massive miss for Everton going into this game. You look at the table and where both teams are on the table. At the moment, Leeds United are in 16th on 22 games played, 6 wins, 7 draws, 9 losses on 25 points, while Everton are in 10th, so 6 places above on 22 games played, 9 wins, 5 draws, 8 losses on 32 points. So going into this game, so you got a 7-point gap between us and Everton. You know, a 7-point gap at the moment between the two clubs. A win for us makes it even closer, of course. Duh. But yeah, it's one of the things about a win, and we're starting to get closer. We're bringing other teams into it, like your Spurs, who are actually 2 points ahead of us. We still need to try and drag other teams around us into it, or try and get basically out of it and be into more of the middle section and be out this relegation battle for completely. By the end of the season, I think we could get there because of the form we're on, how well we've been playing, and it's a possibility. You know, going into this game, I said it's going to be a tough game because it is under the lights at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's going to be a tough game. Everton, of course, at home. They've not had a great home record this season at their new stadium. But going into this game, what do I expect? I'm going to say Leeds United are going to win this game. I'm going to predict us to win. I don't think I can't not predict us to win just based off the form that we've been on this season, and since we've changed to the 3-back, the form we've been on. I don't think I can actually predict a loss or a draw. I just can't at the moment because the form we're in. But yeah, I think Leeds United are going to win this game. I'm going to say 2-1. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds United. I think DCL gets a goal. I think he'll get a goal. And I'm going to say Lucas Metzger. I'm going to say both strikers get a goal and we win the game 2-1. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know your score predictions. Let me know if you would change anything to the starting 11. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.